Good morning, everyone. Time for weather news with J7409. The name you know, the news you can use. Lots and lots to talk about this morning. First off, I want to focus on the area of Lynchburg, Virginia. I was out yesterday afternoon, and by the time I got back, I saw all of the warnings that had been going on for the Appalachian area and surrounding towns. You guys had it. I'm just telling you. Now we have the threat of the dam breaking there in Lynchburg. So let's go check that out really quick. It's the College Lake Dam. It's located in Lynchburg, Virginia. It's reportedly overflowing on the brink of failure due to recently heavy rainfall. Now, if the dam fails, portions of Lynchburg could be flooded within minutes. Folks, this is the real deal. Don't take this too lightly. If this were to happen, it would just be awful. Now, Lynchburg received 1.35 inches of rain yesterday, 1.64 inches so far this month. Now, that doesn't seem like that much, However, upstream rainfall can also contribute to rising water levels. As you can see, the rushing water coming down. 3 to 6 inches of rain have fallen across the area since Sunday afternoon, with the heaviest falling in the towns of Timberlake and Forest. Look at that. Now, this is really important. Residents of threatened areas are being asked to evacuate as of yesterday evening. Now, according to the National Weather Service, water levels in Lynchburg could reach 17 feet in just 7 minutes if the dam breaks, swiftly just covering up all the homes and businesses that the path the water runs through. They would virtually just be gone. So, people, this is nothing to take lightly. Now, they have opened up some areas. They have an auditorium that's open for evacuation, and it's including pets, and anyone living in low-lying areas near the dam should seek higher ground immediately, even if official evacuations are not ordered. You know the old saying, it's better safe than sorry. Look how I tore the road up. This was just yesterday. The rushing water did this, people. Here we go. Emergency officials orchestrated boat rescues and families from an apartment on Greenwood Drive in Lynchburg. This was yesterday also. So, people, don't take this lightly. Once again, there is an auditorium up. If you're in the area, you can call, find out where it's at. They will take pets for all evacuees that are living anywhere close to this area. And yes, we've got a chance of flooding all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way up the East Coast, almost to Maine. Our good friend and faithful subscriber Jim lives, I believe, either close to the Appalachian Trail or on it. So he's been writing me. I told him last Sunday all this rain was coming. He was going to get soaked. He knows I told the truth. So let's keep Jim and his wife and dear sweet Josie and all the pets and all the people around in that area in our prayers. Now, I know I sound like a broken record. Here's the GFS, courtesy of Tropical Tidbits, but I have to say this. It's unsettled weather, and it's going to continue. Let's turn on the map right quick, and here we go. All of this unsettled weather, it is going to continue for much of the eastern United States through at least tomorrow night. Might even drift some into Saturday. We'll have to wait and see. Depends on which part of the East Coast you're on. Now, it's this stinking stall frontal boundary, people, that extends from Texas to the lower Great Lakes. It's stalled. The front will continue to weaken and eventually dissipate, Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, the boundary will couple with a large-scale upper-level trough and extend from the Great Lakes to the Mid-South, as well as deep southerly flow off the western edge of that big old Bermuda High in the Atlantic, as you see right now. And there it is, the big old high. Now, this high in the Atlantic Ocean is leading to a strong surge of moisture across the east. That's why all this rain's happening, along with the stalled front, resulting in warm, humid conditions with rain and thunderstorms possible from the Gulf Coast to New England. Some of these rain showers and thunderstorms could be very, very heavy and track over many of the same locations they already have, leading to the potential for flash flooding. And we do have flash flood watches that are already in effect over much of the Appalachian region. Now, much of the western states, they're going to continue to be hot and mostly dry over the next few days, although temperatures will be steadily moderating by the weekend. Low humidity, whew, I'd love to have some of that, along with gusty winds will maintain an elevated threat for the spread of wildfires. That's still a big problem too. Do not take this lightly. And of course, it's across portions of the Great Basin, the Southwest, and the Intermountain West. Numerous red flag warnings and fire weather watches are in effect. Additionally, several locations across southern Oregon, southern California, southern Arizona, and the southern plains area have poor air quality in part from all of these wildfires happening with the wildfire smoke. Now, an increase in precipitation is forecast for the Pacific Northwest as an upper level trough approaches the coast and it begins to break down the ridge, and showers and thunderstorms are expected to develop across portions of the Intermountain West, Central, and southern Rockies and the adjacent high plains. As this frontal system exits into the northern central plains, some of these storms may become severe this afternoon near Dakota and the Minnesota border. Here's the latest tracking map on Hurricane Hector, or it will be a hurricane soon. It's not a hurricane yet, but it should become one probably today at some point. It will turn into a major hurricane, as I showed you yesterday, and it's looking like by Tuesday it's going to be starting to disintegrate somewhat and just be a regular hurricane again. Of course, this convection cone is where it can go either way on the sides, but more or less this is the track. And I'm not going to get into this a whole lot, okay? I'm not going to say it's going to hit Hawaii and it's going to be a mega cane or anything else. I think it's still looking like, to me, it's going to go right under it. Now, of course, if it does, Hawaii's still going to get rain. Hawaii will still get wind. Hawaii will still get all this, that, and the other. It just depends on what this thing does. Too early to tell, okay? We've got to wait and see how close it gets to see if it actually hits. If it makes a direct hit, that's a different story. I don't think right now at the moment today it's going to make a direct hit. We will have to wait and see. I got my eyes on this. I'm going to keep up on it. As we look at tropical storm force winds, this is for the next, through the next 5 days. Yeah, sure, Hawaii's going to start to feel some tropical storm winds. They have, let's look right down here. We see the green, a 5% chance there. But now all of this is going to increase as the days go by. We don't want to forget that. But this is what it's looking like now for tropical storm force winds. And for the next 5 days, this is today or late yesterday through the next 4 days, okay? It's for 5 days, 120 hours. This is for hurricane force wind speeds. None should be affecting Hawaii at this time. I'll keep up on it. I'll let you know. There are no watches and warnings for any land at this time. If you haven't subscribed to Weather News with J7409, please do so. I'd appreciate it so much. I do my best to try to get this information out to you every day. Please click subscribe, click the bell, click the email notifications to make sure you get all the latest in weather news, watches, warnings, and tropical weather. I would love to have you over in our crowd, and I know all of my subscribers will welcome you over also. So please, if you can and you want to, please subscribe. Tell your friends and your neighbors, your loved ones, your family. We'd appreciate it. Now, this is the NAM map. This is what's going on. I set it at 8 a.m. this morning. Right now at my house, it's 1 minute after 8. You can see very plainly, look at here, all of this rain going up from New York all the way down into Georgia. So we'll move it up just a little bit here. Let's move up to around lunchtime today. Where will all of this rain head to? It's moving on northward. It's going to go right up through this Virginia area into Pennsylvania and up into New York. And eventually it's going to go into Vermont, New Hampshire, and probably up into Maine. So, Ralph, hey, I know it's a mess. I know it's humid. I know it's sticky. I know it's nasty. We got another day to go through it, okay? This is what it should look like at 4 p.m. this afternoon. We still got these pop-up showers, and a lot of these can turn severe, my friends. Keep your eyes open all up and down the Florida Panhandle and along the Gulf Coast states that are on the water. You make sure you're watching what's happening. South Carolina, North Carolina, yes, there's flood watches. There's flood watches from Maine all the way down, people, right now going on. Flood warnings are going on. This is what it's looking like around 4 p.m. We will move up to around 8 p.m. this evening. You can see the system finally tries to start to move off the coast some, but here's this Bermuda high still trying to do its thing, and up in Maine you're getting some heavy rain also as it moves on down. Pennsylvania, again, bless their hearts, they got flooded out last week. West Virginia and portions of Virginia and North Carolina, also up in Georgia and not North Carolina, listen at me, Florida, Georgia, and Florida. You have it going on. And an outbreak looks like it's going to bust out over here in the Midwest, as it usually does in the evening hours, in Nebraska, parts of Colorado, and maybe parts of Kansas. As we move on along to around 10 p.m. this evening, we'll see what it's looking like. Yes, this is going to move on. This is just kind of stalling out, moving just enough to say it moved a little bit, but the rain is more general in the same areas coming down. And as of 1 on Saturday morning, what shall it look like? Still more rain. And this rain is going to start to move over some into the New Jersey area also. Wouldn't be surprised. Some's in Massachusetts. Wouldn't be surprised how far it goes. We'll check one more reading at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, and you can see it's still moving, still in Pennsylvania, stalling out over here. New York, rain, Vermont, New Hampshire, a little bit of Maine over here. Everybody else, we got some rain, but not too severe. North Carolina, South Carolina. Most of the severe overnight is up in this area in the Midwest. So that's the weather news for today. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, sharing, the comments, the likes, everything you do for me, my friends. I appreciate it. Each of you stay safe today. Don't take any of these warnings and just blow them off, because there is a possibility these things could happen. Be safe. Be aware of your skies. I love you guys. Much peace, love, and kindness to each of you. Thanks for watching.